The moment I've been dreading has finally come. Someone finally entered the zone. What is up, y'all? It's your man, that dude, bringing you guys another video. I'm giving out subscriptions down below, so go click that button. I'd appreciate it. Kenji has entered the zone. Now, despite my initial reaction to Kenji entering the zone, I do think that Ahiru Sora is going to handle the zone fairly well and going to keep things pretty much grounded in reality. From what we've seen so far in this episode with Kenji, he's not like going crazy and like dunking on people and hitting crazy shots and just can't miss. Nah, he just seems to be a little more aware of what's going on the court and a little more in tune with his skill set, a little more focused and better able to like know what he has to do within the flow of the game. So he doesn't have, any kind of quasi superpowers. This isn't Kuroko's basketball, nothing like that. Kenji is just more aware of what's going on, and he's better able to read the flow of the game and make better decisions within that flow. He's not dominating the game by any means. He didn't come in and take over and all of a sudden become the best player on the court. None of that. He's just a slightly better version of the player he already was. He's not like exponentially better or anything like that. There are no superpowers, at least not right now. These things could change in the future, and I hope it doesn't get to that extreme of a level with the zone. I like so far what the show is doing with the zone and keeping everything fairly grounded. Because despite my dislike for how Kuroko's basketball handles the zone, I'm not saying Kuroko's basketball is a bad show, I just don't like how the show handles the zone. It's probably a personal preference kind of thing. But the zone does exist. Like, basketball was never my primary sport growing up. I didn't really play organized basketball like on an actual team. I play other sports. But I have played basketball, and some days you go out to the court and you just shoot better than other days. Some days you just feel it. Some days your handles are better. Some days you're shooting better. Some days you're just playing better defense. There's no reason as to why it just happens. So, I feel like the zone is a real thing. It's more, it might just be a coincidence or like a happenstance, but I feel like the zone is a real thing. Some days you just feel better and you're in the zone on those days. So I'm not gonna say the zone shouldn't be included in these kind of shows or the zone shouldn't be brought up, because I think it does exist. I just don't want the zone to become some kind of cartoonish superpower like it is in Kuroko's basketball. I want the show to keep everything grounded in reality and make it where it's a lot more realistic as to what the zone is. Kuzu is actually mounting a bit of a comeback in this game. Now, I still don't think Kuzu is going to win this game. I just think Yokohama is that much of a better team, but they're coming back into the game, and you gotta respect that. These guys are putting up a fight. We get to see that despite Yokohama being so much better, there are some things that players on Kuzu's team can do to basically not even the playing field, but make the game competitive and make it where Yokohama has to respect them on the court. With Kenji getting out of his own head and getting out of his own way and actually playing better in the game, we have Sora hitting some shots. And what this is allowing to do is, what this is doing is allowing the court to open up more for Chiaki down low. So now Chiaki can get the ball to the post, and Chiaki can operate the offense from the low post. And you need someone like Chiaki on the low post, being the naturally gifted passer that he is. When you have a point guard like Sora who's so small, you need someone down low who can make passes or orchestrate the offense, because what that does is it allows Sora, who has a hard time creating space because of his size, to operate off of the ball. So now Sora doesn't have to dribble the ball, he doesn't have to make decisions, he doesn't have to make passes. He can run around the court, he can gain separation that way, and now you have such a naturally gifted passer in Chiaki who's able to find Sora when Sora creates a space off of the ball, give Sora pinpoint passes, and then Sora can do what he does best, in that shoot. Sora needs Chiaki. He needs a player like Chiaki to unlock his full potential. And I love the way this show really displays how complex of a game basketball is. Like everybody on the court has to have a skill set that fits in with everybody else for the team to be like the best version of itself. You can have teams where there's like a few good players that don't really mesh, but they're just so good and naturally talented that they can uplift everybody else with them and make the team great. A la like a LeBron James or something like that. But for the most part, you have to have players who everybody's individual skill set comes together, and the sum is greater than the parts. So everybody has to come together, and what they're able to do individually might not be great, but when you take all those individual skill sets together, their sum result is a dominant team. And I think that's what Kuzu ultimately might be able to do. Like, evaluated on an individual basis, Kuzu does not have a lot of great talent. Sora can shoot well, but Sora's short. Outside of Kenji and Shigeyoshi, everybody else has some great weaknesses in their game. Chiaki Chiaki is a great passer, but Chiaki isn't a great scorer necessarily, and Chiaki is kind of slow-footed. Yeah, Momohado can't hit the ball outside of the bar and can't shoot for shit. But Momohado is a great athlete. He can jump out the gym. He's quick. He has quick feet, and you can go from there. And so since everybody has their own flaws, they have to come together and like make up for everybody else's flaws. To talk about Momohado for a second, Momohado finally got a point, and it was a dunk. He finally scored a basket in a game. Good for Momohado. It's been a long time coming. I was happy to see him score a point, and I was even happier that that point was a dunk. To talk about Momohado a little bit, Momohado is a player that, despite being so shitty on offense, is crucial for Kuzuhai's team because what he allows for the other players to do on the court. This is an example again of this show being really good at showing how complex basketball is. Because while Momohado can't score, what Momohado is he's tall, he can jump really high, he's quick off of his feet, so he can grab rebounds, and he's really good at defense. So while he's sometimes a negative on offense, outside of his offensive rebounding, on defense, he's able to make up for the mistakes of some of the weaker defenders on the team. Sora. The team is starting to make an impression on the teachers that came to watch them play. And that is really good to see because I was not sure they were going to be able to do it. Like, I know that the purpose of this game, actually, I should talk about that. It's real easy to lose sight of the fact that this game isn't about actually beating Yokohama. This game is about impressing the teachers enough that one of the teachers feels so inspired that they become an advisor for the team. And so far, they're doing that in the second half of this game. They're making an inspired effort. They're crawling back into the game. They're making some plays. They're showing that the people on this team are dedicated. They've worked hard. They have some talent, and they're trying to achieve something. And those are the things they need to do to gain one of the teachers to come to their side and hopefully save the team. I am pumped for the next episode of Ahiru no Sora. Will Kuzu be able to continue their comeback and make this game even more competitive and maybe even win it? Or will Yokohama once again prove that they are the more dominant team like they have been doing for the majority of this game? I just don't know. Like, I still think that Yokohama is going to win the game because they are such a much better team. But Kuzu is making an inspired effort. So I do think that the best case scenario for Kuzu is they make this game competitive down to the end and they just gain the approval and they impress one of the teachers and they gain an advisor. But hey, who knows? This is a sports show, and so they might be able to pull this game out of their ass and eventually win it. We'll see eventually. I'm not sure how long this game is going to go as far episodes wise. We're in the fourth quarter now, I think, so shouldn't be too many more episodes. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. And if you're so inclined, subscribe. I would appreciate it. See you guys in the next one.